Hello and welcome. Hopefully, let me just turn this phone off. I had to use my phone as a router today. I've got all these different phones. I've had a bit of unstable internet, and I've worked out, I think, what the reason is that a tree is growing into the internet cable, and I have to get that cut. Yeah. Anyway, nice to see you all. To see you nice. Yeah. So I asked you last time to comment about whether you wanted chat left on, and the answer was yes. So chat is being left on, and I'm not in control of it, and so I don't know if people are abusing it or being rude. I don't know about that. Yeah. Okay, well, we shall begin. So let me just tell you how this works. So I do these talks every Sunday at 6 p.m. French time or Central European time. But the problem why I don't say that is because sometimes it's obviously summertime and sometimes it's winter time, and we change by an hour. So I always just say French time, so you can look it up. Always look on my website before the talk to make sure that I'm going to do the talk, because sometimes I can't or I change it. I also sometimes post or try to post a YouTube video on my YouTube channel to tell you I'm not doing a video, or put it on my Facebook page if I'm not doing a live talk. They are free. No one has to pay. You're welcome to donate if you want to. You can go to my website and donate. But again, you don't have to. It's just free. I co-host this with my dog, Khaleesi. She's the non-verbal side. She's the cuteness side. She's at the moment trying to eat a fly. Now she's going into hiding because there's been a fly. Oh no, she's not. Yep, she's gone into hiding. She has a little den underneath my footrest where she goes into hiding. Yes. Yeah, if you want to ask a question on this live stream, I was going to say live stream, then you do so by Skype. My Skype address is Lisa Cairns 12. So you can ask a question. You can even write it, or you can call in. But if you want to call in, don't just call in. Please put "call me" below, and I will call you. And don't put anything else in there. Just call me. That's it. If you want to call in, make sure you've got a headset, good internet connection, a microphone so it's not echoey. And if you're unused to Skype, then you can do a test call. I'm having bad dyslexia tonight. In the audio and video settings of Skype, you can do a test call. Uh-oh. It's gonna be dyslexic night. Yes. If you are wanting a session with me, I've changed doing sessions, and so you can no longer really book a session with me. I will carry on. I'm booked up all the way till December, and then after that I will just carry on doing sessions with people that I've already been working with on a regular basis. You can write and you can sign up to the waiting list, but just be aware that the waiting list is long, and the people that I meet regularly, it's like one of them have got to want to drop out and stop in order to get a session. So just be aware of that. It's just something I've changed. And so if you go on my website and you've booked once every 6 months or something, and you go on there and you wonder what's happening, there's that. I am going to most probably do a course at some point. most probably in the beginning of the autumn or middle of the autumn or something. Yes. So you can subscribe to my website to find out more about that, to keep you posted. Yes. Was? What else? I can't think. Oh yes, there's another channel called Video Clips. Lisa Cairns Video Clips. It's not my channel. It's run by somebody else, and it's not. I don't pay them to do it. I haven't asked them to do it. I don't encourage them to do it. They do it completely out of their own will. It's not like I'm getting somebody to do slave labor or something. You're welcome to donate to them, and they do it because they enjoy doing that. And yeah, it's really beautiful. He edits clips and puts them into YouTube. So it's all talks that I've done over the last 10 or 11 years now that I've been posting talks. And yeah, he edits them and puts them into small clips, takes out all the nonsense like me doing this now, and yeah, and gives them titles about what they're about. So you can subscribe to that. You can find it, it's like featured on my channel, or you can just look it up. I think it's Lisa Cairns Video Clips, and maybe it's got Osbjorn's name in it. Osbjorn's name, so you can see and play around. Yeah. I also have a reference page on my website with lots of different links that you might be interested in. Yeah, I don't update that as much as I should, and there's so much more that should be on there. And I've got non-duality teachers, and that's not just saying these are the only good ones. There's no other good non-duality teachers. It's just the ones that I know well, like listen to their talks and know them. Yeah. That is all, I think. So we shall start with sitting in silence. So we just sit in silence for 10-15 minutes. Yeah, which is very nice. You can do a meditation, like there's lots of meditations I've recommended in the past. Knowing that doing happens, it's not an individual activity. So you think that I'm doing meditation, but actually it's something that happens or doesn't happen. So it's not a prescription, it's a description of something that can happen. That's stolen directly from Roger Castillo. He says that, and I think that might have also come from Ramesh Balsaka. But yeah, just keep that in mind. And I can't be bothered to describe the meditations today. Just go back to another video and see me describing the different meditations that I recommend. I don't actually think they're better than other ones. It's just the ones that I know from Buddhism and from Ramesh. Yeah. Okay. So we just start. I have to get my dong out. You have to have a dong at the beginning of the meditation. The dong for the ding. Dinger for the dong. Yeah. Okay, we begin. So what is the name of the talk today? Boopy doopy 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 doop boop boop. The joy of being yourself. How profound. What of a profound talk. Okay, I've just been told that I have to up my bit rate. Excusez-moi, just let me up my bits. Okay, hopefully that makes YouTube more happy. So, the joy of being yourself. So what do I mean by that? The joy of being yourself, because who would be the self? Who would be yourself? That is the question. But then what does the joy of being yourself mean as well? So right now we're seemingly sitting here listening to me talk, looking at me and looking at my background. A beautiful sofa in the background there, which is a bit random to have a sofa over there behind the sofa. So it's because then if I have guests, I don't have to interact with them. I just sit them over there and then I sit here. Yeah. So, what was I going to say? So we're sitting here and we're looking at all these things and we're doing all these things. But who is the central person that is experiencing that? So these words appear, these sounds appear, the sights appear, the world seemingly appears, but who is experiencing it? So it might feel like there is a you inside there experiencing it, but who is this you? Who is this centralized you? So it feels like you are a combination of your choices, your thoughts, your stories, your feelings, and you kind of live behind the eyes there. And that you're looking at me, so you're behind the eyes looking at me. But if you really pay attention and you really meditate deeply on that, you begin to see that that's not true. There isn't a centralized you. There's an appearance of you which is coming and going. And then there is this empty looking, which is infinite. And this looking isn't a subject-based thing. The really mad and crazy part about this looking is it is everywhere and nowhere simultaneously. So it's looking at the person, it's experiencing, it's perceiving the person, but it's also not separate from anything that it perceives. It is the things it's perceiving. So it is my voice, it is my face, it is the sofa, it is even your personality structure. But it's not located anywhere. So when we're having awakening experiences, it feels like we turn as the personality structure and look at the big consciousness and look at the perceiver. but you can't actually look at it. You can't actually see it. It's like this mystery. So right now, there is something looking out of your eyes that's absolutely impersonal, but it's the fundamental essence of you. So it's been there the whole time, so it feels fundamentally you-ish, but not you-ish as in like got a quality of goodness or badness or rightness or wrongness. It's absolutely impersonal. You could say it's unconditioned love. And that's what's looking out of the eyes now. That is what is everything. So not only is it looking out of the eyes and looking at your personality structure, it is actually everything it's experiencing. That's so radical. That's so beautiful. This is all you've ever looked for. It really is. So when you think that what you're looking for is your partner being nicer, being more loved, a better house, a bigger garden, nicer view, restrictions to open up, society to go back to the way it used to be. When you think that's what you're looking for, it's not actually what you're looking for. What you're really looking for is being you, being who you truly are, which is this moment. It's never in the things, it's never in the objects. That's pleasure and pain. So it's nicer for you if your partner is nicer or more loving or more intimate, more balanced, but it's not what you actually want. What every human deeply wants is to know themselves, is to be themselves. They don't want things. They don't want objects, which is the same thing as things. But they don't want whatever it is that you might think that they want. What they actually crave for and longing for is to be home, which is what you are. And this is unconditioned love. It's not something you can sell. It's not something you can bottle. It's not something you can get by working really hard. It's not something you can barter for. It's not something that's more cut out for the rich than the poor. It's what you are. It is what you are. It's the most fundamental essence of you. This empty looking that's absolutely impersonal. Right now, there is nobody looking each way. There is nobody. There's nobody here and there's nobody there. There is an appearance of you coming and going, but it's not the experiencer. That is an experience that comes and goes. Your body is an experience that comes and goes. Your thoughts are an experience that come and go. Your feelings, your emotions. And what you are is beyond all that. Beyond all ideas, beyond all reference points, beyond all wanting or not wanting, or craving or averting. It's right here. It's so radical. So if you think of the thing that you really don't want to happen, it's not actually true. What you don't want is to not have what you are. So if you think of the thing that you really want, so say you really want kids and you can't have kids, that's not actually what you really want. That's a pleasure to have kids. But what you really want is to be here now. To know who you are, to be yourself. To see this life fresh in every moment. And to me, that's the end of suffering. Not the end of dynamics. Not the end of dynamics. I'm most probably as fucked up as the next, although I would like to think that I'm a bit more evolved than the next, but we've just got to start with that basic assumption and then expand upwards. So I have fears. So last night there was a crash outside my house and my electrics went out at the same time. And it was because my toaster had blown up simultaneously at the same time. There was like a big bang outside my house and and there's some other stuff. And I was home alone and when I heard noises in the basement, which is where I put my lights on and the electrics back on. And I was scared to go into the basement. There was some other parts to that story which I can't tell you as to why I was scared. Yeah. And so to me, that's like past energy in the Lisa body. So there's something that's happened which has made me a bit sensitive to being alone at night. And that's an energy that comes up. And there is fear, but there is still empty looking. And I know that seems like, how could that be? But it really is. It's just fear in the body. And then there's absolute freedom in that empty looking. And this is really being yourself. So the character is the way it is. And as a character, the polite thing to do, the best thing to do is to always expand and integrate. To always be working on dynamics, to keep expanding, to not feel like you've arrived on the character level. But then there is this other part, which is free. Totally free. And expanded. That is empty. It is no thing and all things. And this isn't about the character then making up stories that then I'm awake and then I'm free and I'm enlightened. Like rationalizing like really bad behavior. It's not what's being talked about. Like when this is really recognized, I feel like then the character's momentum is to integrate this more and more into the character. And that's the natural progression. And nothing to hide. The character has nothing to hide. So who is it that's looking now? And also what also happens is that people have this intellectual recognition of consciousness, and that's part of the awakening. But then there's still this seeking energy, and they put that seeking energy down to human dynamics. And the seeking energy is a feeling of not quite being in the right place. Whereas this recognition, this energy, this expansion is like a groundedness, like a feeling at home. Who you are is this, and then recognizing that, and really the collapsing as the seeking really allows the person to be who it is with all its dynamics, with the momentum to expand this more into the human, but to really be itself, like the character is okay. The human is human. There is nothing wrong with its humanity. Okay, we can take questions now. So back to the questions part. So if you want to call in, please put call me so I can see, and make sure you've got good internet connection, headset and microphone, and just be focused on the questions. So it's when you call in, like what I'm looking for, sorry to be so prescriptive, is questions. The question can be based on your experience, but limit that time talking. Sounds so rude, but if you want to really go into your dynamics or your story or tell me stuff, then it's better to book a one-to-one session. But you can't book a one-to-one session at the moment anymore. So tough titties, as what's her name? Sheila from Wild Wild Country would say, from Osho. Tough titties. Boop, 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 boop. Tough melons. Yeah, so, but I really love people calling in, and they will take priority. And I try my best not to traumatize you or shame you anyway, and to be really like inclusive. So you don't need to be afraid. but I might have to direct you a bit to get to the question. Okay, so this is from Conrad. Hi Lisa. How do I overcome the pain of rejection? I want to be myself, but I'm afraid of being rejected. Much love. God, I really got dyslexia today. I was going to say motherfucker Conrad. That's my dyslexic brain. It's like jumbling everything up. I can feel it. And saying words. So when you have dyslexia, like one thing that you can do, which is quite cool, is if you can't read the sentence, so when you're glancing at something and you can't read it, your mind can pick out some of the letters and make a complete new sentence, and you don't really realize, but you've picked out like some of the letters that are together. You can also, on the internet, you can read these dyslexic things where it's like words that are all jumbled up, the spelling, and a dyslexic can really easily read it. It's really cool. Yeah. So much love, Conrad. It could also be my shadow playing up, like coming up and being like, just because that was like motherfucker. But I don't think so. I think it's my dyslexia. Happens sometimes. Full moon last night. I didn't sleep that well. Yes. So, firstly, you believe that you exist more than likely as an I inside the body. Maybe you don't intellectually believe it anymore, but there's maybe this like centralized energy that's in there that says, this is me, I am this body, and I am somebody that can't be myself because I'm afraid of being rejected. So fear of being rejected is actually a natural phenomena that doesn't need you don't need to get over it. It's natural. Like to go into a room and to want to get along with people. You'd most probably be a psychopath or a sociopath if you didn't have that dynamic. It's natural that we want to get on, and that contains a little bit of fear, will or won't they like me? Where it becomes abnormal is the belief that that is your happiness and that is your freedom. When you really know who you are, the freedom is this moment. So it's like, yeah, there is discomfort around being liked or not liked, but it's not destabilized because it really knows there is this energy of groundedness in what you are, which is this moment. And that is unconditioned love, and it's all you ever wanted. On the seeking level, on the big level, like what the person really wants is to be home. It's not to be liked. That's part of being human. You're liked and then you're not liked. That's part of the fun and the game of this life. If everyone liked you all the time, if everything was easy, then there would be nothing to do. You'd just be laying on your back all day, eating fruit. Like, it's part of the diversity of this. So that desire to get on is a beautiful desire if you move it into the positive. So it's also like recognizing that desire in the moment. So what you're doing is you're focusing on the negative of it. You're focusing on, I'm afraid of these people, that they won't like me. But then on the flip side, there is this beautiful desire that comes from the heart, which wants to get on and wants connection. And that's a beautiful desire. So on the human level, there could be a shift from the negative to the positive. So this conscious energy to shift it. And then on the absolute level, it's really seeing that that's not what you really want. What you really want is to be home right now. And what is home is this energy, that which is beyond all form, that which is experiencing now, that which is in every experience and never moves, which is totally still. It's here. And there's nothing can move it, nothing can touch it, nothing can hurt it. It is here. It is here. And it's the essence. It's what's there before birth and after death. This empty looking, which is all things, and this sense of I am, this love. But it's not I am something. Like when you really go into the I am, that disappears. It's this vibrant beingness which is unnameable, mysterious, beyond all words. Thanks, Conrad, for your question. Hi, Osborne. Thanks for the good advertisement, Osbjorn. Yeah, pleasure, Osbjorn. You do such a lovely job. Thanks, Nick. It's not coming through. I assume it's a rainbow. Let me just check my internet as it's not coming through. Yes, it's looking good. Excellent connection. Very good. C'est très bien. Très bien. People are being nice in chat, I assume. That is unknown. Oh no, it's sunlight coming through the trees. I realized there wasn't a real me that was doing anything listening to you and videos of Ramesh. I watched this person named Alan living his life, and yet I am not involved, and yet this awareness of observing is yet still a mystery. Is that the way for you? I don't know if our experiences are the same. Like, our associations with words and the way we phrase things might be completely different. But for me, I wouldn't say I watch this person, like I watch Lisa. Like, who would watch Lisa? Like, there is a happening and there is watching, and Lisa is in that watching, but it's not like I watch Lisa. Like, who would watch Lisa? This looking is unnameable. It's totally mysterious. And it's here. And it's like totally home in itself. So there's this element of not seeking. Like, there's nothing to be got from this world. Like, nothing matters from that perspective of the absolute. Like, nothing matters. It's just contented. And that's all that's ever wanted. Thanks, Alan. Hi, Derek. Hi, Lisa. Would you be happy to take part in jury duty if you were called? I think I have to by law take part, so I don't think it's like a being happy or not being happy. So I don't think there's any choice in it. And maybe there's choice in America. I think you're from America. I don't think there's choice in Europe. Yeah, I don't think I would be selected. I think I would instantly be black mark, because more than likely I wouldn't find the person guilty. I don't think I would ever be called. Sheila, what a tough cookie. I wouldn't want to get on her bad side. Wild Wild West was such a great documentary. I wonder how accurate it was about what happened. Yeah, I presume it's really not accurate. There's lots of stuff that's not known. Like, there was a forged will and all these things that happened, and we never really heard about that in the documentary. And also, Usha had a long girlfriend, a long-term partnership, and she died like 6 months before Osho, and that was never talked about. I don't think they were together at the time. And she died of like a drug overdose. And this was never like it, and he had been with her for a very long time. He was very close to her. She was always there. You saw her often in the background. I'm in Scotland. That was my point. I wouldn't want to find people, and I would break the law by refusing or object on spiritual grounds. Yeah. Yeah, it really wouldn't bother me being called. I mean, like, maybe I would find some people guilty, like if they, like I just don't know. I really wouldn't be bothered. I'd maybe be quite interested in what happens. I think it's worse, like if you were in a country where you had to do military service. So thank God we don't have that in UK. Like some friends I have had to do military service. Pardon me. Then your answer to my question is yes, thank you. Thanks, Alan. Isn't that a bit to think that you know what I'm saying is the same as your experience. So by listening to me speak and then thinking, yes, my experience is the same as hers, so the answer is yes, then, like, to me, that's an impossibility. We can't really know the other person's experience. Like, people often say that, like, I don't know if my experience is the same as Roger's or Ramesh's or Gangaji's or the Buddha. I don't know that. Like Ramesh used to say, enlightenment isn't a certified event. Like, you can't say, yeah, this is the same, because we all have different interpretations of different words. How could we possibly know what the other means? We can say we feel like we know what the other person means, but we can't say, yeah, my experience is the same as yours. How would we know that? How would we know that? Often those types of things are for the seeking energy or for part of the personality structure. It's because the personality structure feels insecure about something, so it wants to validate it by using somebody else's experience and saying, yes, I tick. Whereas I'm not ticked by anybody, but I feel so confident in that shift. So it's like when somebody says, I've not got this or not got that or not this, like sometimes their energies can hurt, but more because it becomes from like a violence or something sometimes. But it's like, yeah, I could have blind sights there, I could have blind sights there, but I also don't need anybody's validation. I don't need my experience to be like somebody else's, because there's just this absolute confidence in what is, in this seeing, in this knowing. And then in the personality structure, there can be investigation, or there can be like uncertainty about certain dynamics, but there's another part that's absolute confident in what it is. Because there is only one self, the awareness, the beginning is one and the same experience for everybody. Even that you don't know. You don't know that I'm not just a cardboard cutout. So what you can say is that everything is appearing and is that big consciousness. But whether the other body minds are being looked through as well, we don't know. You can say that everything is looking, but it's kind of like looking from one particular angle. But you don't know that this body is looking as well. That's your assumption. You know that there is one looking and there is no inside and outside of that looking, of that experiencing. But you don't know what's happening in the other body-mind's mechanisms. That's an imagination. In the experience, you just know that everything is this looking. Everything is this looking. It's total aloneness. Hey, Anthony. Hi, Lisa. There's not many questions tonight, so just a reminder, if you want to ask a question, it's better to do it in Skype. My Skype address is LisaCairns12 rather than in chat. I really don't really look at the chat. Oh wow, you guys are really going for it. So yeah, it's Lisa Cairns 12, and I will friend you if you send a friend request. And if you want to be called, please put call me, and calls will take preferences. I would like to speak with people. So you are saying there are different experiences. No, I'm not saying there's different experiences. I'm saying there's one looking that's happening. And that's what the experience is. There is one energy looking now. And that's, if you come into this moment, like really drop into unknowing, then there is one experience happening. And then the idea that other people are looking through the other body-mind mechanisms is an idea which is questionable, which comes and goes. At the moment, like in the moment, in the mystery, when you drop out of mind, when you drop out of thinking, and you drop into this, there is just one looking, which is everywhere, and it is unknowable, it is unquestionable, it is just looking. It has no answers, but it has no questions. It doesn't want anything. It doesn't have the ability to want. It doesn't not want anything. It's just here experiencing right now. That is what I was referring to originally. The awareness is all there is with no sense of doing. That's the mystery. Yeah, I was just replying to your question when you said like that everybody else was looking around like that, and that your experience is the same as mine. That is mystery. You don't know that. You just know this one energy looking. Perfect and complete in and of itself. Yes. Have I triggered something, Alan? Go into your body and feel if I've triggered part of your seeking energy, like that your personality structure has been challenged and you feel uncomfortable. Hands, call me. Yes. Yes. Okay, hands, I'll just give you a moment to see that. Yes, yes, yes. Actually, hands, just before I speak to you, I'm just going to go to the toilet. So you can prepare yourself, you can get ready, and I go and relieve the bladder. Okay, I'm back, hands. Oh, okay, he says 2 minutes. So you just text me when you're ready, hands, and I'm just going to take another question. Oh, but you're not there to hear that. I have no more energy because there is no doer. Okay, that's from Alan. KTW. Hey, KTW. Nothing there. Sutesh. So Hans, just text me when you're ready. Just take another question while You get ready. Hi, Lisa. Is this emptiness looking same as awareness or consciousness? Everybody's got different words for everything. So I don't know what you associate with those words. I call it the big consciousness, but when you zoom in on consciousness, it disappears. So you could also equally say this nothingness that's everything, this emptiness which is fullness. So you could also say it's beyond the concept of consciousness. Yeah. So everybody has different words. Like some people call it awareness, some people call it nothingness, some people call it beingness, some people call it consciousness. So I can't clarify that or not clarify that. To me, I tend to call it big consciousness, but know that consciousness isn't a reference place. It isn't a thing. Danke. Okay, you're ready. Hands is ready. Hey. Hello. Hey, Hans, I cannot hear you. I don't think it's me because I heard the ringing prior. So I think it's you. I'll just give you a moment to sort it out. That's weird. 1 second. Okay, I'll just go to a question while we wait for your hands. I have this fear all the time. Sometimes I'll just hang up on your hands because of my internet and then just call me back when you're ready, okay? I have this fear all the time. Sometimes it is bad and sometimes not too bad. When it's bad, I try to find where it's located and feel it like it's in my head. It gets so bad that I get panic attacks and I think I might die. I know I won't. It feels like a pressure in my head. What should I do? Damn it. I pressed enter by mistake without asking my question and now my question will not be answered. Huh? I don't know what you mean by that. So, Anthony, so the fear is most probably, like ultimately what the fear is, like on the big level, like the fear is that you're going to die. And it's like you are a separate entity that is separate from life and that one day you're going to die. But the reason that it's got so exaggerated in your body is most probably because of your childhood and the way that your personality is structured and not processing emotions properly. So that's why it leads to panic attacks and really extreme fear. So there is books that I would recommend for that. Let me just tell you one, but you can go on to my, I can't tell you that because my phone is off. You can go onto my website and find books, but it's because I can't go into all of that now. Like, so our personality structures deal with things in different ways, and when there's a certain personality structure that we can call avoidant, so avoidant personalities, and what they tend to do is they tend to cut off their body and live up in their head. But this doesn't work. What it does is it builds over years, like this pressure in the head, this focus in the mental, so in the opposites, which is good and bad and right and wrong, so in thinking, and it cuts off the rest of the body. And what that leads to is it leads to very suppressed emotions. And I mean, this is just a really simplistic way of putting it. And then those suppressed emotions often manifest in stress in the body. And then or it stresses the body, like repressing the emotions, and then the stress turns into fear and panic, and then panic attacks. Because presumably what's happening is when your body's getting more and more stressed by repressing all your emotions and feelings, is you're releasing the stress hormone, and then this is producing fear in your body. So the build-up of fear, and only being able to feel fear and presumably anger as the feelings that you can feel predominantly, or frustration, or maybe even depression, is normally, it could be there's something physiologically happening in your brain which I'm off about, but it's normally because you've repressed all your feelings. So I'll just give you an example. So during the day we have so many feelings, and those feelings are there to help us navigate, but a lot of the time people don't understand their feelings. So say if I'm in communication with someone, maybe I feel afraid of them. So like that is telling me something. So it's a fear in the body somewhere, and it's just being conscious of it and allowing it to pass through the body. But what happens in certain personality structures, if they have avoidant personality structure, is they've cut off from that feeling and they don't know they're feeling afraid of someone. So maybe fear is not a good example because what you're saying is fear. So maybe you're in contact with someone and you feel put down, or you feel dismissed, but then there's no consciousness of it. So what happens in your body is your body tightens up. So you're talking to someone, you feel dismissed, you feel insecure, you feel not seen. So you feel all these complex emotions, but there's no registration of it in the thinking mind. What your thinking mind is doing is cutting off and putting all the attention here. So your body's getting more and more stressed. And then you're putting more and more stress in your body. So just like if you were like cycling up a mountain, you're putting stress on your body, you're releasing loads and loads of cortisol or something, which then produces fear. So then over time, as you get older, it begins to break through, and then you begin to feel fear, panic attacks like tightness, not being able to breathe properly, and then most probably anger, frustration and depression, and these. But it's really because of suppressed feelings. So then what you have to do is you have to go back to unlocking your feelings in every moment, to really feeling what you feel in every moment, acknowledging it and understanding what's happening. So say if you're talking with your mom and you're feeling like you're being put down, it's acknowledging that in yourself and trying to bring it into consciousness rather than having no knowledge of it, suppressing it in the body, and then like being rude to your mother or something, or putting her down back, or like being snappy or aggressive, like So it's like coming back to what it is that you feel in every moment and being honest and truthful to that. It doesn't mean honest and truthful and telling other people everything. It means coming back to feeling what you feel in every moment. But more than likely that's really hard because you spent a whole life dedicated to not feeling your feelings. So getting that activated is really difficult. So something I would recommend is Osho. Osho retreat centers, humanitarians, that they do great courses on getting in contact with your feelings. You can also go to talk therapy, but to me talk therapy